If you're Kenny Pickett, this week could be really, really tough. And before we head down this road of Bengals week and really start to break down this game and a win that the Steelers really need to have to claw back into this AFC playoff race, to claw back into this divisional race, I think we need to talk about a couple things with your quarterback. And I know the Steelers are now still 6-4. They're still in it. But I'm talking about momentum-wise. I'm talking about clawing yourself back in and getting that momentum built up again that you had building for a couple weeks before that bad Cleveland Browns loss. Welcome back to Mike Drop Sports, everybody. I'm Jason. Let's talk about your quarterback, Kenny Pickett, the lone man standing. With the firing of Matt Canada, Kenny is the only one left to blame. The Steelers are systematically taking out parts of the equation to try to find the root problem in that offense. What is really truly holding this offense back? And yes, the offensive line has been terrible at times. But Kenny Pickett is supposed to be the starter, the lead guy, the franchise guy. And any NFL franchise leans on their starter, their franchise quarterback, to be able to carry him down rough roads, to be able to put a team on his shoulders and get him through rough patches. That's today's NFL. A quarterback that's able to manufacture wins late in ball games. A quarterback that is able to overcome deficiencies throughout the ball club. And that's just the facts. And now if you're Kenny Pickett, you face a road now that you haven't traveled before. One to where there is nobody else to blame but you. A road that Kenny Pickett is going to find himself in immense pressure. A heavy, heavy burden. And it can only do two things. Is Kenny, one, going to be a guy that takes that pressure, puts it on his shoulder, and able to carry it out and play good ball? And be a really big driving force for this team moving forward? Is he going to start completing high percentage throws that are easy to make and not overthrow them and not throw them short and skip them off the ground? Is Kenny Pickett going to be able to make those tough throws and drive the football down the field? I don't know. I really don't know. But the pressure could be immense. And then it could go the other way if you're Kenny Pickett. The pressure could be so big that it takes you down a path that it's career suicide. It's going to kill your career. Because now the pressure is going to be so high, you're not even going to be able to focus on anything else or worry about anything else. But knowing that all eyes are on you. Everybody is focused. The whole organization is now looking at you for answers. The whole fan base is looking at you for those answers. And if you go out Sunday against the Cincinnati Bengals and you're playing another backup quarterback in the league, and you don't put up any points, and you have a very pedestrian type outing, and you don't really show any type of improvement, I think Tomlin's Tuesday press conference could result in your benching if you're Kenny Pickett. I think it could be time that Kenny Pickett is done. I think it could be time that Mike Tomlin goes to a Mitchell Trubisky. Do I think he'll ever go to Mason Rudolph? No, I don't. Do I think he should? Probably not. I don't think Mason's the answer either. I don't think Mitch is the answer. But I look for Mike Tomlin to continue to shake things up. They've already done something that they haven't done since 1941 when they were the Steagles. Since around World War II. And they go and fire a coach in season, a coordinator in season. That's very un-Steeler-like, and I think I can see this trend continuing to happen. Maybe Kenny gets 2 ball games, but he doesn't get the chance. If this team becomes 500 all of a sudden, 6-6, I don't think that Kenny Pickett gets much more opportunity than that. I don't. And I think Mike Tomlin will start grasping for straws, trying to fix this season and trying to salvage it before it totally runs away from him. And I think Kenny Pickett will be that guy next. I think he's the guy that will take the fall next. And if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, you're pretty much justified because both guys have done poor jobs. Matt Canada, horrible performance. Not a great coordinator in the NFL. Maybe in college he does well, I don't know. But in the NFL, he don't. He doesn't do well. He doesn't produce the correct schemes in order to constantly get an offense in up-tempo and exciting modes to where they're really attacking. He doesn't provide that. And if you're an NFL offense, you need that. You need to build that excitement, that momentum. You need to get it moving. You can't go away from guys that are really helping your football team and helping your offense move the football. You can't completely just go away from them for a quarter. It's common sense. And if you're Kenny Pickett, you'd probably be best to just check down all the time into the run game at the line of scrimmage. That might save your job. Because Jaylen Warren is an absolute beast and can score points. Najee Harris, he can come in and get some things done. But if you're Kenny Pickett, you might want to just lean on that run game pretty heavy. And we all know what the Steelers' philosophy is probably going to be. Run, 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 and not let Kenny throw. But I think if you're the Steelers, you need to come out. You're playing a ball club in the Bengals that have a backup quarterback, that are nicked up in some areas, just like the Cleveland Browns were. But I think you would need to allow Kenny Pickett to show you something. I think you need to take some of the handcuffs off, some of the training wheels off, and allow him to start throwing a football around the yard a little bit to see exactly what you have. Because if you don't, what are you doing moving forward playing the same philosophy? You don't really know what you have in Kenny. And you're never really going to know until you let him do some things. And I think if you're the Steelers, you need to come out with a game plan of maybe in the beginning parts of the game, allowing them to sleep, making them think, making the Bengals think that it's still the same old Steelers. Even if they fired Matt Canada, it doesn't matter. They're still going to do the same thing. And then I think you need to attack. And I think you need to let Kenny Pickett go off. I think you need to allow him to make a lot of changes at the line of scrimmage. I think you need to allow him to just play in tempo and allow him to run that 2-minute type offense in the middle of the second quarter, middle of the first quarter. But I think you need to do that. Run a lot more play actions. Get that run game established early. Play action pass off at next. Then come out and spread that defense out. Wear them down a little bit and then spread them and stretch them deep. And then hit some underneath throws to some of your guys. Hit some quick slants to George, Deontay, Calvin Austin. Use your tight end grouping in some play action passes. Have them coming across the middle for some easy dink and dunk. Get some yards after catch. Allow that to happen. And I think that may get your quarterback into a good rhythm. But I keep talking about this Kenny Pickett under immense pressure. And it's real. It's huge. And this is the last stand, in my opinion. And yeah, I know I'm going out on a limb saying it because it's not a real Steelers-like thing. But I think a change at quarterback is rapidly coming. I think a change at quarterback is maybe what's needed. But I think Kenny Pickett has very limited time left. I think the road for Kenny Pickett has become very, very narrow and very dark. And he's driving without no headlights. And this is one of his last stands. And if you're Kenny Pickett, you have to pick this week what you're going to do. Are you going to be the guy? Or are you going to let them beat you up? Are you going to let them take your job? And that's going to show us a lot about Kenny Pickett's guts. That's going to show us a lot about his mental state. That's going to show us a lot about Kenny Pickett. Whether he is able to overcome this large amount of adversity, this amount of drama surrounding this football team. Is Kenny Pickett going to be able to be that guy? Because if you want to play playoff football and championship football in the NFL, things are going to get tough. There's going to be some dark moments. There's going to be some times where you get beat up in the media. There's going to be some times that you have to deal with some tough issues. And it only gets worse as you get better and as you get farther down the road in this championship hunt. It just gets worse. And if you're Kenny Pickett, the Steelers need to know now whether you're able to handle this pressure, whether you're going to rise up to the occasion and show the Steelers fan base and the coaching staff and the ownership group what they're made of or what he's made of. And they're going to need to know before the end of the 2023 season exactly what they have in Kenny Pickett, because the offseason is going to be pivotal. You have a team now in place that can win. It may not be the most complete team, but a team nonetheless that can win ball games. And maybe they are just one piece away. Maybe they are just a quarterback away. But you need to let the Steelers know, hey, should we go out here and really focus on our offensive line and totally revamp that yet again for the second offseason and really try to make that big time in front of Kenny Pickett? Or should we focus on getting a quarterback and spending a lot of draft capital on somebody that's proven, that's somebody that's quality, somebody that can make this offense go? Somebody that can complete the routine, easy balls. Somebody that can get this thing moving and ride with what we got. You're putting the Steelers in a spot if you're Kenny Pickett, because they need to know. They have to know. And it's totally going to be dependent on Kenny Pickett's play here in the next couple games, guys. I give him 2 games max. This week, I'll give you the pass because this is the first time that you're going to be playing without the coordinator. You're going to be in an all-new environment. I'll give you the pass if you come out and perform subpar. But next week, when you, who do we face next week after the Cincinnati Bengals? You're heading, you have the Arizona Cardinals coming to town. That would be a must win. That would be your last audition, if you ask me. That would be it. And maybe you're auditioning Kyler Murray for your starting job. I don't know. I heard rumors of that. I don't think it would be a wise decision to come in and bring a guy that's 4 foot tall and bring him in for $60 million, whatever they pay him. You know, these quarterback prices now. I sure hope that don't happen. Man, that eats up a lot of cap. But anyway, what do you do if you're Kenny Pickett? Your replacement might even be on the field with you. You never know. But if you're the Steelers, I look for, if you have a bad performance Sunday with Kenny Pickett in a first half that's absolutely horrendous yet again against the Cardinals at home, I look for Mike Tomlin to make a change by at least halftime of that Sunday's game. Or at Tuesday's press conference, if he has a bad game against Cincinnati, I look for him to just say, hey, we're going to sit Kenny and let him learn. We're going to sit him and let him think about it for a little bit. And then maybe, hey, Mitch continues to do bad. You put Kenny back in and see if that maybe shook him up a little bit. It's about all your options. It's about where we sit, guys. This is the state of the Pittsburgh Steelers at the quarterback position. And I just really wanted to talk about this before we headed into the Bengals week and really started breaking down this game. Because the Steelers are at a real crossroads. They're at a real tough spot right now. And yes, the Steelers have been down these roads before. The Steelers have traveled some rough waters. But the Pittsburgh Steelers now find themselves in a predicament that they haven't been in quite some time. And that is a real dilemma at quarterback. Yes, they've had the Devlin Hodges, the Mason Rudolph stuff, Mitchell Trubisky, all that. But I'm talking a real, true dilemma at benching a guy that you drafted in the first round. A guy that you had super high hopes for. A guy that you thought was going to come in and be the next Ben Roethlisberger, be the next guy in line to be the franchise quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. It is what it is. So the Steelers find themselves in a tough spot, guys. And moving forward, we're going to really find out what a lot about this football team. And we're going to find out a lot about Kenny Pickett. All right, guys, let's break this down. And like I said, I just wanted to get that off my mind before we move forward and started with Bengals week. The Bengals are going to be a tough game, guys. And it's not going to be an easy game. And I know they have a backup quarterback, but nonetheless, they have a defense that can get after Kenny Pickett. They have a defense that could cause some turnovers. And we've seen Kenny Pickett's performances. And they've been subpar. So, I mean, what's to tell you anything will change? Yes, the coordinators, or the coordinator duties will be shared by Sully and Faulkner. Yeah, we get that. I do think that Sully may mix things up a little bit different. Maybe try to take a different approach than Matt was, just to mix things up. But really, guys, it's the same offense. They're never going to be able to install completely different offense. The only thing that they can do is pattern plays different. run their formations a little bit different, just switch things up, but it's going to be the same basic concept of the offense, the same kind of routes, the same type of blocking schemes. You're not going to be able to really overhaul that. Now, as the season moves forward, if you're starting to have success, you can install new things each week. And really, by the end of the season, and by the time you hit the playoffs, you could have, what resembles maybe a little bit of a new offense, a little bit different philosophy. You may be able to do that, but offenses in the NFL are very complex, and we all know that. So, again, that's it. That's all for today. We're about 15 minutes. I don't like to keep you guys much longer than that. But, again, we're going to move toward Bengals week with a little optimism here and not be so doom and gloom. That bad loss on Sunday against the Browns, put a bad taste in all of our mouths. But we're going to move toward this Sunday with a little bit of energy, a little bit of excitement. Now that we've got the firing of Canada out of the way, the Kenny Pickett discussion today out of the way, I think we need to have a little bit of excitement and move into this football game, and hopefully the Steelers grab a big W and get themselves back on the right track. All right, guys. Don't forget, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and don't forget to share with everybody and help us grow our community here. And again, I appreciate you all. And until next time, peace.